Medical breakthroughs often begin with an accident. These are the Kjolund Mountains of northern Norway in the Arctic Circle. They're popular with extreme skiers. 11 years ago, a young doctor called Anna Bagenholm suffered an accident that would change her life and propel her into the medical history books.
It was a very, very nice weather day. It was like 15 degrees in the sun and a lot of melting water and very good skiing conditions.
Skiing just ahead of her was her colleague Torvind.
I skied first, stopped and looked up again and saw Anna started skiing. And she was doing all right. And then suddenly she started skidding.
And then I hit a rock and turned round so that I turned around on my back and started to slide on the back.
And all of a sudden she broke through the ice and hit an ice ledge and went in under the ice ledge into the water.
And the water filled the clothes and then I was suddenly dragged under the ice very slowly.
Anna was trapped hopelessly beneath the ice and was slowly but surely freezing to death.
So Anna was moving inch by inch in under the ice. And in the end, we were just holding on to Anna's legs to just stop her from disappearing in under the ice.
Far away from help in the icy wilderness, Torvind and his friend struggled for 40 minutes to pull Anna out from underneath the ice. But it was impossible. And then, still trapped, Anna's body went completely limp. And shortly after this, her heart stopped beating.
Normally, when your heart stops beating, death will inevitably follow a few hundred seconds later. By the time they called for the rescue helicopter for Anna, her heart hadn't beaten for well over an hour and a half. Now, I live and work in London, where you're never more than a few minutes away from healthcare. But this is Norway. I mean, just look at it. There are great, huge distances between the mountains and the hospitals.
And then we were waiting for almost an hour from the accident happened to the first rescue team got there.
40 minutes after Anna had stopped moving, they were finally able to pull her out from underneath the ice.
Despite the best efforts of the paramedic team on board the helicopter that day, Anna arrived at the hospital in Tromsø without a heartbeat. Her heart had been at a standstill for well over 2 hours. Now, when you hear a story like that, you are not expecting that patient to survive. Absolutely not. Frankly, this girl should have been dead.
Two hours after Anna's heart had stopped, the helicopter carrying her body landed at the university hospital in Tromsø.
I landed here, was sliding up the door. I jumped in, talked to the doctor on board.
Anaesthetist Mads Gilbert led the resuscitation team.
So we had her on one of these stretchers, one of these trolleys, and we were doing CPR continuously as we walked.
Where were you? Were you on the trolley?
I was sort of kneeling on the trolley to all the time make sure that the two most important things were maintained. Ventilation, air in and out of the lungs, and good chest compressions to maintain the blood circulation to her cold brain. She looked dead, completely dead. She was white, ash white, waxy white, wet, dilated pupils, and on the ECG, no signs of life.
The challenge for doctors now was to find a way of dragging this lifeless 29-year-old woman back from the dead. And it would be the extreme cold that she'd experienced that would hold the key to her survival. Even though Anna looked dead, the doctors knew that the hypothermia, the very thing that had stopped her heart, might also have preserved her brain. And so despite the incredible duration of this cardiac arrest, the team took the decision to carry on the resuscitation and warm her up.
Once she was on full bypass, we all sort of put our hands together and we waited. And slowly the blood temperature increased. We had an echo probe down her esophagus. We saw the heart still standing like this, shivering a little bit, and suddenly and I had to maintain my control not to start crying because it was a very emotional moment. And the heart continued to beat, and we were all very sort of thrilled. Yes, the heart is beating, she's starting up again.
3 weeks later, Anna opened her eyes for the first time, and very gradually, she began to recover.